I'm not afraid of the war. I'll take my chances. I'm not going to leave him there by himself and my cat there to deal with that. I know, miles away.
Well, that's good, Chantal. That's good. I'm glad that you are there to stick it out with your dear husband as the loving wife that you are. Wonderful. Congratulations. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Great to see all of you today. I wasn't planning to go live. However, Nestie did hit me up in the DMs and asked if I would, just to kind of sort some of this stuff out. And I'm happy to do so. So I won't be on for very long. I do have a busy day ahead of me, including some pageant business. But yeah, we can look at some things for sure. So first and foremost, I would like to just take a moment to slow down and think about all of the civilians, just regular people like you and me, grandfathers, grandmothers, cousins, people our age, children, who are being killed. Let's put Foodie Beauty out of our mind for just a moment and think about civilians who may have a side, may not have a side, may have interest in one side or another, or may not. And all people are trying to do is live their lives, just like you and me. Make some money, keep up your home, put food on the table, maybe try to have some fun on your days off if you do have a day off. They're just like you and me. And people just like you and me are being seriously injured and killed. They didn't join the military. They're not one of these factions. They didn't sign up for this. So I just want to take a moment and think about those people just for a few moments. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so Chantal has just uploaded her health update, which I'm about halfway through, and it sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook to me. She has not seen a physician. These are just her own report of her health, which she has asked us not to discuss. So, we can watch that later if you would like. It's not really anything that I feel... I'm only halfway through it, but I don't feel like there's anything that needs a lot of commentary. It's an upload, I think, basically. So, all right, where shall we begin? How about you guys tell me what you're most interested in talking about around this subject? I do have a bunch of resources pulled up, and we can go through a lot of different things. I can share with you there are some videos that were taken today. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't understand a Syrian dialect. All I understand is the religious Arabic from what they're saying. So people are asking, saying God is great, God help us. But other than that, I don't really know. And of course, you can understand Israel, that kind of thing. So I guess what we could start with, about 3 hours ago. Let me share my screen here. There were 13 people injured. Israeli strikes hit the Syrian presidential palace and defense headquarters in Damascus. Okay, Megan. Darkest Coven, I think that is kind of people are saying Darkest Coven's question is where are they? Do we know? That is the $1 million question, because that really determines what Chantal is experiencing herself. So, I mean, it means everything. It literally means everything where she is currently. And people have been saying different things. I don't necessarily know how people are coming to these conclusions, because Chantal, for some reason, is kind of being a little more careful this time around in showing where she is or which direction she's coming from. I think she is being intentionally misleading about some of that stuff, which is good. She should. She really should. So, this was about 9 hours ago. Good morning, ham and beans. And the presidential palace. So this is where Ahmed Shara and his family, he has 2 children and his wife. He has 1 wife. This is, they may be there, they may not be there. We don't know. So let me move my owl friend out of the way. All right, so this was local time for me, 9 a.m. Eastern. Israeli airstrikes struck central Damascus on Wednesday, hitting the presidential palace and the headquarters of the Ministry of Defense. Syria's Ministry of Health confirmed at least 13 people were injured in the strikes, which caused powerful explosions heard across the capital. According to Israeli media, the coordinated assault also targeted the entrance to Syria's General Staff Complex. We're going to watch, from Israel's point of view, them bombing this building, and then the view from the outside, like from the entrance. People are there. Channel 12, I think, I'm not exactly sure where this is from. Channel 12 reported that multiple Israeli military units are currently conducting operations across Syria. Israel's defense ministry declared the beginning of painful attacks on Syria, while army sources confirmed the deployment of additional fighter jets and drones to the Syrian front. So Israel has been saying, and actually it looks like we're getting to that down there, that they are defending the Druze community. And we talked a little bit about that on part 1, Syria part 1. The Druze community, and they are kind of a sect of a sect of a sect, it seems, of Shia Islam. But they're also, their own community aside from religion, too. And the Druze, primarily where the Druze are not in Damascus. So bombing the presidential palace in Damascus and the defense headquarters. Okay. But they're saying it's because of the Druze. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if you want a little background on all these different groups that are in Syria and how they're, how everything kind of came to be and how everything started, part 1 is beneficial to watch. You can just even have it on in the background, probably. So, military radio reported preparations to move 2 brigades across the Golan Heights as part of a broader escalation. The Golan Heights are part of, Israel currently does occupy Golan. And the current president of Syria, where is it? The current president of Syria has asked Benjamin Netanyahu for one third. I mean, this doesn't belong to Israel. They take it. That's kind of... I should also really state up front, okay? Many of you know that I am Muslim. However, when I speak about Israel, I'm not talking about Jewish people. They're not one and the same to me. Israel is a country with its own government. There are Christians and Druze who live in Israel. But I'm not speaking about Jewish people. Just like when people say, they're not fans of America, they're usually saying your government. The actual people, I don't have a problem with. Okay. Yeah. So please don't take any of this. It's not my feeling. It's not my thoughts that this is Jewish people, quote unquote, doing this to Syria. This is Israel, the country of Israel, the government of Israel, specifically Benjamin Netanyahu, and another person who we'll look at also. So let me make that clear, okay? So the Golan Heights, and you can see how, let me go to a map. So this yellow star right here, and then this yellow star and this heart are Damascus. So they're right here. They're very close by. So they're moving towards the Golan Heights as part of a broader escalation. Additional fighter jets and drones moving into the Golan Heights, okay? Oh, Sammy in Brooklyn, thank you so much. I find this chat very unbiased and fair. Behebek awi, and behebek awi awi awi. Thank you. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the strikes were aimed at rescuing our Druze brothers and eliminating regime-armed groups, referencing the recent violence in Sueda province between Druze factions, Bedouin gunmen. Now, let's also keep in mind, Bedouin is not Bedouin. Those are two different things. Bedouin are people who live in the desert, and they're kind of nomadic. But they're not Bedouin. I actually blocked the word from the chat if you're trying to put it in. Bedouin has nothing to do with any of this, and please, let's just forget the entire word. So, Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi reportedly ordered a surge in air power along the Syrian front, emphasizing what Israeli officials called a firm commitment to protecting Druze civilians. Okay. Israeli Security Minister Israel Katz warned that warning messages to Damascus are over. Warnings are over. Now come the decisive blows. Meanwhile, the U.S. envoy to Syria urged a return to dialogue and condemned the use of violence against civilians in Sueda. These are civilians that are being killed and injured, calling for steps toward a permanent ceasefire. Syrian authorities have not yet responded publicly to the strikes. Well, probably because their presidential palace was bombed and their the general staff complex. So let's see if we can get this. Now there is going to be Hebrew across the bottom of the screen. Let me see if I can watch it on X, and I'll make it full screen. Okay, let me pause that. Okay, so this footage is from Israel, showing that they're bombing the general staff complex. So this would be like a government office, probably like the Capitol building of the U.S. or your government, the head of your government, where all those offices are. Okay, I think that's repeating, yeah. This last one, I mean, you can see that does not look to me like the presidential palace. I have looked at that, so I'm not sure what that one was, but okay. So now, let me take this off for just a moment. I gotta do a little finagling. Next, we will see the view of that, the aftermath of that, from the the entrance of that building, the general staff building. And these are all very short.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Okay. So, you could see all of the destruction, and the man saying, Allahu Akbar. I'm just telling you from a Muslim perspective, thanking God that he's alive. Thanking God. Now, this was reported to have been done close to 9 a.m. Eastern time, which would be 4 p.m. Syrian time. So there may very well have been people in the building, and it's Wednesday, so it's definitely a weekday. So you're saying that Chantal has a live stream scheduled? Let's take a look. I have already downloaded her stream from last night and removed the audio because it was only 45 minutes, so that wasn't too bad. I do not see a live stream scheduled. Okay, and we do have a community tab post. And that says, hi guys, my health updates vlog was recorded a couple of days ago. I know there are some serious events unfolding in Syria right now within just mere kilometers from us. I will come live in a few hours to talk about our situation. We are staying in the home to keep safe for now. Okay. Where's Teardrop? Teardrop? What is this? This has to be a troll. Arashi. Yeah, we saw, yeah. I don't think I'm even going to look at the health update. It's really nothing. She didn't see a doctor. She didn't see a doctor or anything. So, no, I don't have any dropped frames. So if anyone's buffering, it's YouTube or maybe your internet connection. So Arashi says, I think it's romantic and loyal of you to be together in Salah's homeland. Don't let the jealous haters run you off. Garlic Bread thinks you should run away like a coward. He wouldn't know a loving marriage if he tripped over one. Salah will protect you in his home. He's a real man who would never send away his devoted wife. I wouldn't leave my husband's side either. That's got to be a troll. It's got to be. It's got to be a troll. No word from Teardrop or Tracy. Wow. You guys are off your game, huh? That's not going to be... Chantal needs you right there with her. Okay, so that's that. Some people have speculated that his family home is in a place called Darat. So this is Israeli strikes expand to Darat. This was today. Hit Syrian army convoy. Okay. Not the greatest picture, but... Alright, let me make that a little bit smaller. Okay. So, this was about 2 hours ago. Israeli airstrikes extended beyond Damascus to the southern city of Darat, which is kind of on the Jordanian border. I think it's right here. Yeah. So this is Darat And this line right underneath it is Jordan. So it's right on the border. Just to give you an idea of like, I think it's really important to pull up the map to get a sense of how the country is laid out, where are the borders. So when we do speak about different areas, you'll know like about where, you know, like, oh yeah, that's south of Damascus, you know, or if we're talking about Aleppo, oh, that's way in the north. So just to have like a general idea. I mean, I don't have the map memorized or anything, but I think it's just a good idea to keep an eye on it. Okay, so the airstrikes extended beyond Damascus to the southern city of Daraa, targeting a Syrian army convoy and military installations. The strikes reportedly hit a site near the governor's palace in Daraa and struck a military convoy heading from the city toward Soweida, as well as the headquarters of the Syrian Army's 132nd Brigade.
الدخان المتصاعد أثار الضربة الإسرائيلية لمنطقة المطار في درعا ومنطقة النفوس. المرصد السوري لحقوق الإنسان. الدخان المتصاعد أثار الضربة الإسرائيلية لمنطقة المطار في درعا ومنطقة النفوس.
Okay, so I can't get any English captions on that, unfortunately. Earlier in the day, Israeli warplanes launched a major wave of strikes on Damascus, targeting the presidential palace and the Ministry of Defense, which we just read about. Syria's Ministry of Health has confirmed that the total number of injuries from the strikes in the capital has risen to 18. I would say that is probably extremely conservative and maybe even misstates the reality because that building is pretty much obliterated. So I also have another source from the Israel side. Let me bring that up. The Times of Israel. So, this was yesterday. A barbaric murderer. Minister calls to kill Syrian President al-Shara after attacks on Druze. So this is the Diaspora Affairs Minister Amachai Hikli attends a conference organized by his ministry. This was back in March. He's kind of a young man. So he directly calls for Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara to be eliminated without delay in both English and Hebrew posts on his X account. Everyone's all the cool leaders have an X, right? Trump, this guy. Following Israel's announcement this morning that it will strike Syrian regime targets in response to reported attacks against the Druze population by Shara's forces. Hikli writes, anyone who thinks Ahmed al-Shara is a legitimate leader is gravely mistaken. He is a terrorist, a barbaric murderer who should be eliminated without delay. Sharing footage circulating online that appears to show Syrian army forces taunting and assaulting members of the Druze community by forcibly shaving their facial hair, and I have seen that. He adds in Hebrew, if it looks like Hamas, talks like Hamas, and acts like Hamas, it's Hamas. Hamas is not in Syria. He may be saying that for Israelis to have something to relate it to, comparing the alleged conduct of Syrian troops to that of Gaza-based terror group. We must not stand idly by in the face of Islamist Nazi terror regime of Al-Qaeda in a suit and tie, the minister continues. We saw the horrific massacre of the Alawites met with deafening silence from the European leaders, and now we are witnessing the slaughter and humiliation of the Druze. The terror regime in Syria must be fought. Oh, and here's his X account, if anyone wants to follow him. Let me get you. I'll just take that off the screen. The Middle East in general tends to put out photos that normally, for people in the West would find, really upsetting. And it's like the norm. So that's why I'm taking it off the screen. So that's his X account if you'd like to follow him. He's the Israeli Minister of Diaspora and Combating Anti-Semitism. And he is married and a father of 2. Okay. And looks like there are some videos here. Right, the Den? I can't believe we're in a timeline where dictators just post a status update, right? Yeah, so in this one, they're shaving his mustache.
سلاح وما بدناش منك شيء اقول لك بمالي طلعون حلقلوا له يا حجي سردينات طلع لمين هدول في سردينات عندك هذا يمكن ايوه ليونس هدول
Now, I don't know the actual significance behind that. It could be. This is another video. Looks like a man was injured here. It could be that because a beard is required basically for male Muslims. If you're really following the religion closely, a beard is required. The mustache is not required. So I'm wondering if maybe this really conservative extreme group is removing the mustache for that reason. I don't know. Why that would be a form of humiliation, I'm not sure. Okay, I guess we're not going to get anything from that. But those videos are on his X account if you want to check those out. Okay. Also, okay. So we heard a lot today about the area of Suwaida. Okay, and Suwaida is in the south also. If we zoom in a little bit. Suwaida is right here. This is where Daraa is. This is Golan Heights. And Suwaida is primarily Druze. So this happened. The Ministry of Defense forces penetration the city of Suwaida to expel outlaw groups.
Suriye'nin başkenti.
And this is also Suwaida. And the title is, I'll have it up for you in a moment. Israeli minister calls for assassination, which we just read about on the minister's Twitter page. Basically, he's calling for the president's assassination. So this guy is reporting the attack on the presidential palace.
Şam'dayız. Az önce hemen arkamda Emevi'nin meydanında Genelkurmay Başkanlığı'nın binasına İsrail ordusu hava saldırısı düzenledi. Kısa süreliğine çıkan dumanlar hemen yok oldu. Bölgeye ambulans araçları sevk ediliyor. Görüntüde görüldüğü gibi Emevi'nin meydanının arkasında hemen Savunma Bakanlığı Kurmay Başkanlığı'nın binası.
Let me start this over now that we have closed captioning in English.
Suriye'nin başkenti Şam'dayız. Az önce hemen arkamda Emevi'nin meydanında Genelkurmay Başkanlığı'nın binasına İsrail ordusu hava saldırısı düzenledi. Kısa süreliğine çıkan dumanlar hemen yok oldu. Bölgeye ambulans araçları sevk ediliyor. Görüntüde görüldüğü gibi Emevi'nin meydanının arkasında hemen Savunma Bakanlığı Kurmay Başkanlığı'nın binası. 5 dakika önce burada İsrail ordusuna ait savaş uçakları bölge semalarında uçuş yaparken Genelkurmay Başkanlığı binasına tekrar bir hava saldırısı var. Tekrar bir hava saldırısı var Genelkurmay Başkanlığı binasına. Tekrar bir hava saldırısı var Genelkurmay Başkanlığı binasına. Tekrar bir hava saldırısı var Genelkurmay Başkanlığı binasına. Suriye'nin başkenti Şam'da Emevi'nin meydanının hemen arkasında Genelkurmay Başkanlığı binasına İsrail ordusu hava saldırısı düzenledi. İkinci hava saldırısı aslında sabah saatlerinde İsrail Başbakanı ve İsrail Savunma Bakanı Yisrael Katz buraya hava saldırı eğer hükümet güçleri Süveyda'ya devam ettirdiği saldırılarını durdurmazsa buraya hava saldırılar düzenleyeceğini bilgisini tehdidinde bulunmuştu.
Okay.
Another single moment.
So, that was he was talking about Soweto, but that actually took place when we saw the bombing from the Israeli side in the black and white, when we saw the general staff building. And like you said, it's like the Capitol building. So if you think, in the US, it would be, the White House, for example. So that's what got hit. And as he's talking, they struck again. So those are planes flying over him, dropping bombs. And he's just wearing a suit and tie. He's at work, He's just a regular guy. Okay. I have a bunch of stuff. Okay. All right, so amid unknown fate of leaders of the first rank in Damascus. So the top level leaders of the nation, they don't know. They don't know what happened, if they're alive or not. Amid the unknown fate of leaders of the first rank in Damascus, Israeli fighter jets execute new airstrikes on General Staff Building. So, like the White House. Israeli fighter jets executed several strikes targeting the entrances to the buildings. And we saw that from the ground also, what that looked like. Of the General Staff and the Ministry of Defense in the capital Damascus, causing large destruction, while the fate of the leaders of the first rank in the state remains unknown. So, like the president and his, his administration, his cabinet, The raids also affected a building in Al-Maliki neighborhood and Qasr Tishrin amid reports about casualties. It is worth noting that these sites are among the most important and most fortified in Syria. So it's got the most security. It's, against anything, but if you're flying over with a bomb, your ground security doesn't really mean that much. And looks like this is an update. So. I'm so focused on this right now, but I am going to be looking at the chat in a little bit so we can have our conversation. Ongoing violations. Israeli fighter jets executed 2 airstrikes on Al-Suwaida. So the Druze, it's considered a minority group. It's like a sect of Shia Islam. And the president considers himself to be Sunni. I mean, he was in a U.S. prison for 5 years for terroristic activities under Al Qaeda, or like a group that was under Al Qaeda. So his view of Sunni Islam and my view were very different, very different. So whatever he's doing to the Druze, I don't know. It sounds like nothing good. And Israel saying, okay, we're going to come in and help the Druze, but they're executing airstrikes on that area where the Druze are. Okay. 2 airstrikes on Al-Suwaida and 7 members of the Ministry of Defense were killed. Now, I can add my personal thoughts to this. It's probably best that I don't, But I have my own thoughts about this, of course, as I'm sure you do. Al-Suwaida province. Israel fighter jets executed 2 airstrikes targeting positions in the vicinity of Al-Suwaida city in southern Syria, where 2 violent explosions were heard in the city, while one of the targets hit a tank belonging to government forces amid a state of anticipation. This coincided with the flight of aircraft over the region. So we have 2 explosions. So the way that they're wording it is interesting. This is a human rights website saying that 2 explosions were heard, and this coincided with the flight of aircraft. So, dropping bombs, okay? And the Syrian Human Rights has documented the death of 7 members of the Ministry of Defense as a result of repeated Israeli attacks on vehicles and convoys belonging to the Ministry of Defense since yesterday. The human rights organizations documented 72 attacks in 2025, 62 airstrikes, and 10 rocket attacks by ground forces, during which Israel targeted several military positions and strategic facilities in different areas across Syria. But we're coming in to rescue the Druze. Destroying nearly 104 targets, including buildings, weapons, and ammunitions warehouses, headquarters, centers, and vehicles. These strikes killed 44 people and injured 21 members of the Military Operations Administration and 3 civilians. And I like how this website breaks it down. 17 members out of the people killed, 17 were members of the Military Operations Administration. They were military. Out of this count, 24 people were civilians, regular people like you and me, just trying to live our lives. 3 unidentified persons, including 2 persons of Lebanese nationalities. The airstrikes are distributed regionally as follows. And I would just, if Chantal happens to be listening, I think she does sometimes, I would recommend either keeping your, I don't know if you have like pockets in the stuff that you wear, but, keeping a form of identification on your body would be very helpful, because you will probably be separated from your purse should something happen. And if your passport is in your purse, or if it's back home, no one knows who you are. No one has a way of identifying you, of letting your family know. So if you can't keep your passport on your body, I would write. If you feel like you're really going to be in immediate danger, I don't know if you can find a Sharpie, but something that's not going to, if it gets wet, it's not going to run. You can write on your forearm. Just like lift up your sleeves and write on your forearm your full name, your date of birth, and Canada. So that's something just to identify yourself, if needed. Or write on a piece of paper and stick it in your bra when you go out. I mean, you are in this type of situation. That's not, I don't think that I'm overstating anything. I don't think that I'm exaggerating. It's always good to have ID on you no matter where you are, even when you're just, going to this, even if you're riding your bicycle, you should have something on you to identify who you are. But especially when you're out of the country, like, if Salah's not around, his family's not around, no one knows who you are at all. And the Canadian embassy closed their doors a long time ago. So, the airstrikes are distributed regionally as follows. In Aleppo, there was one attack. Now, you remember in Aleppo was really far north, right? So, whenever we hear of Aleppo, we know that probably does not impact her. We got Aleppo way up north here, and she's probably way down here someplace. Okay. Sansa Cook says, I was going to say the same thing. Make a DIY dog tag, yeah, and cover it in plastic wrap, make it into a type of pendant, even on a piece of string. Exactly, right. And I think she has Velcro on her shoes, but like I used to have a thing when I was running that would go through my laces across the laces, not where you tie, but like, on the tongue of the shoe. And it was just like a Velcro thing. It had a metal thing on it that just had like my name, any allergies, and like an emergency phone number. If I'm out running and I get hit by a car or something, they'll know who I am. Something like that, just don't assume your purse is going to be with you if something happens. Oh, that's a good idea too, Sansa Cook's blood type, if she knows it, and that she's diabetic. Yes, excellent. Yep. That's a very good idea. Like a medical alert. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's good advice for everybody, really. Okay. So in Damascus and Rif Damashq, which is Damascus, 19 attacks. Al Suwaida, there were 11 attacks. Homs, 8 attacks. I mean, it goes on and on. Darat, 9 attacks. Latakia is by the water, and that's where the fires were that we looked at. Hama. Ground forces are in Darat, Rif Damashq, and Al Quneitra. So the Syrian human rights would like to point out that Israel sometimes targeted more than one province in a single attack, while several positions were targeted with more than one strike in every single attack. It is worth noting that Israeli forces destroyed Syria's military assets and key and strategic military sites, including air bases, signal and telecommunication stations, weapons and ammunition warehouses, and scientific research centers, with over 500 airstrikes executed during the period between December 8th, 2024, the date of the fall of the al-Assad regime, and December 31st, 2024. So, the day that he left, there were 500 airstrikes between December 8th and the 31st, and he was already gone. So they took advantage of that time. All right. They haven't updated their daily death toll since July 11th, so we won't go through that right now. Okay, there was a lot going on yesterday also. Ongoing escalation. Israeli forces execute 2 airstrikes on positions near 12th Brigade in Daraa countryside. This was yesterday. Some people do believe that this is where she is. And I think their reason for thinking that is because on Salah's old Facebook page from like when he was a little kid, basically. I mean, he was like probably early 20s. He said that his family was from this area. So I think that's all that they're going off of. So Daraa province, Israeli fighter jets launched 2 airstrikes. This was yesterday, targeting positions near the 12th Brigade in Nizra city in northeastern Daraa countryside, but no confirmed reports about casualties. This Israeli escalation in southern Syria comes in light of rapid developments in the region, especially the events in the Al Suwaida province. Now, I had read about that there were kidnappings going back and forth, and this is what escalated between the Druze and the Sunnis that are, the Syrian state, I'll call them. That there were a bunch of kidnappings going back and forth. And those are the kinds of things that you won't see on the news. Those are the kinds of things that you kind of have to be there and know the story. Like, there was a lot in the Egyptian revolution that, people aren't going to know the little stories of how things escalated every day. Day to day, things escalated for different reasons. Liz says, apologies in advance for being insensitive about this. Whoever had World Affairs in World War III is told by Chantal on their impossibly hard Gore World bingo card can come get their prize now. Yeah, right? Yep. If this checks off your bingo card, yep. True. Just give me 1 second. I think there was a little bit more. We have Marco Rubio in the U.S. U.S. expects de-escalation between Syria and Israel soon. That was 2 hours ago. Okay, this is 7 hours ago. And this is a website that, this news station is something that I've always watched or paid attention to when I was in Egypt. It's called Al Arabiya. And this is Druze, Syrian government reach ceasefire. Israel strikes Damascus. So this is today. This picture is from today. Let me make this larger. You can see all the bullet holes in the flag. And this is the new flag. The newly designed flag. And this picture shows a view of the damage following Israeli strikes on the Syrian Army and Defense Ministry headquarters in Damascus on July 16th. So there are for certain casualties. And this was updated July 16th. The GST. That's Greenwich Standard Time. And that's not the same as UTC, is it? Oh my God. Why? Because, it's not Planet America, that's why. Let me do a quick conversion. Okay, so it's 8:51 p.m. Oh, Gulf Standard Time. Oh, okay, Gulf Standard Time. So And this was updated at 7:23. It's 8:51 now, so like an hour and a half ago. This was updated an hour and a half ago. Okay. I just think that's important to note. A new ceasefire has been agreed on in the southern Syria of Suwaida. The Syrian state news agency reported after deadly clashes erupted between the government forces and local fighters in the Druze majority city, prompting Israel to intervene by launching a series of strikes. Druze religious leader Sheikh Yusuf Jarbu also confirmed the news in a video broadcast by state media, saying that the ceasefire agreement with the Syrian government in Suwaida will take immediate effect. So this is between the governorate of Suwaida, where it's majority Druze, and the new what should I call them? The new government of Syria. So al-Shura and his people. So they have committed to a ceasefire like an hour and a half ago. The new government. Thank you, chair number 6. Perfect. Yeah. So ceasefire as of about 90 minutes ago. An earlier ceasefire announced on Tuesday night collapsed after only a few hours. There was still fire from government forces in the predominantly Druze city of Suwaida after the announcement was made, according to a Reuters witness. Israel had earlier on Wednesday launched multiple airstrikes hitting Syria's Damascus with live footage from Al Arabiya, capturing intense strikes on the military headquarters. The strikes killed at least one person and injured 18 others. So that's one update about the casualties. And I wonder if this is what we just watched. It's not. Okay, this is new. And it's on X, so there's no... I don't know if we'll need closed captions, but there is no closed captioning. So this footage is from Al Arabiya News. So it says Israel strikes hits the Syrian military headquarters.
غارة ثانية على وزارة على مبنى الأركان.
And what stands out to me here is the cars going around the traffic circle. Like, people just trying to go about their day, either commuting or just, going someplace. And you think of, like, Chantal entering a traffic circle like she used to do in Kuwait, freaking out. Imagine driving, freaking out, and then this explosion goes on behind you.
غارة ثانية على وزارة على مبنى الأركان.
So I've always liked Al Arabiya as a news site. So it goes on to say, and this is a pretty recent update, about 90 minutes ago, Syrian government troops were dispatched to the Suwaida region on Monday to quell fighting between Druze fighters and Bedouin armed men. So the Syrian government, okay, the Bedouin, I mean, there's so many groups involved, it's unbelievable. The Bedouin are the people living in the desert, not Bedouin, living in the desert, kind of nomadic, like their lifestyle is desert. Okay, they set up in fabric tents and everything like Gaddafi used to do. Like it's a whole lifestyle. Not they're. I don't mean it to sound like, oh, it's van life. It's not a chosen life. It may be chosen, but I mean it's generational. Okay, like if your father was a Bedouin, you're a Bedouin. So the Bedouin are fighting against the Druze. So the Syrian government comes in to break that up. Dozens of civilians, government troops, and Druze fighters have been killed since the fighting erupted on Sunday. A Syrian government statement on Wednesday said those responsible for lawlessness in Soweto will be held accountable. It has said the government was committed to protecting the rights of the people in Soweto. So you can see this is a different perspective that we're seeing now. Israel is seeing that the Syrian government is attacking the Druze people. This perspective is it's the Bedouin attacking Druze and the Syrians are coming to help them. But the Israelis are saying that this is the reason why they're bombing the presidential palace and this staff building in Damascus. Liz says, for those old enough to remember 9/11, imagine living with that fear and panic every day waiting for another attack, right? Then you're expected to continue life as normal through it, right? Yep. Thank you, Liz. I remember, the couple days after, I knew someone who, was in the Marine Corps. And I was like, what? Because that was when we were talking about anthrax. And I was like, what if anthrax starts coming through like the mail service, like the post office? And he just said, go to Canada. Just drive north, go to Canada. Like if that happens, you just got to leave. That's it. That was the advice. Luckily, it didn't get to that. But I remember that, that uncertainty of what's next? You never think this is going to happen. Okay, well, what's next? It's just the unknown. The unknown can really F you up. I'll bet Delta 10, yeah. Absolutely. Each side is going to say something different. Each side has their own perspective. And none of it may be the actual reality. So that's why I think it's important to consult different sources. And people are also going to have their own personal biases. I'm aware of mine. I'm aware of my personal biases in this whole thing. So I'm keeping that in mind when looking for resources to bring to you guys. And I realize some of it is coming out a little bit here. I do know that. So, Syrian government statement said people responsible for lawlessness in Soweto, aka the Bedouins, according to them, would be held accountable. And the government of Syria was committed to protecting the rights of the people in Soweto, aka the Druze. Israel this week struck Syria's Soweto multiple times since the clashes first started on Sunday, vowing to protect the Druze in Soweto, and vowing to escalate attacks unless the Syrian government withdrew its forces from southern areas. We're going to keep attacking unless you get out of this area of Soweto. But the Syrian government is like, well, we're actually there to protect them against the Bedouin. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's actually happening? On Wednesday, which is today, Israel launched multiple strikes on Damascus, striking the military headquarters. It also hit near the presidential palace, which we saw. U.S. Syria envoy Tom Barak, who has praised Syria's new rulers and declared in May that peace was possible between Syria and Israel, condemned violence against civilians in Soweto. All parties must step back and engage in meaningful dialogue that leads to a lasting ceasefire. Perpetrators need to be held accountable. And that is a typical, very typical, definitive statement from the U.S. Just what you would be looking for, what you would want to hear, you know? Whether there's any actual weight behind that, I don't know. Well, that's interesting. That's kind of off topic. We'll do that another time. It's interesting, though. All right, so let's turn it over to the chat and see what you guys have to say. J.R. Teast says the Druze have raised Israeli flag. They have turned on Syria, and I've read that some Druze in Syria have asked Israel to protect them, and I've also read that some Druze are saying if Israel gets involved, that's just going to make it worse for us. Please stay out of our business. So I think it's both. Druze have always carried the Israeli flag, and that's coming from juror number 6. Okay. And you guys, knowing about the Druze, you have more experience with all of that. I just learned about Druze like a couple of weeks ago, maybe. So, of course, there's a much longer history. Yeah, Becky W. says, can you imagine the ground quake that caused in the immediate area? Yeah. And, I've thought that Chantal has really kept herself in a very firm denial of what is happening around her. And I think that she is probably still a little bit in denial. And I think it's going to take that ground shaking beneath her of a close by explosion for her to wake up. Oh, we're seeing Druze, D-R-U-Z-E, not Jews. In case that's confused at all. It's different. My mother asked my granddad if there would be another war, Shelley Daly says. He had fought in both. He said yes. When my mom asked where, he said the Middle East. Mm-hmm. Dying Duckfit says, my sister-in-law worked with government agencies and often at the Pentagon, 9/11, and another sister-in-law was traveling. We lost our minds that day not being able to reach them. Foodie's family has to be sick to death today. I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. Wolf Pup says, Israel always has to make their attacks palatable to the West. I mean, we do fund them, right? The U.S. funds Israel a lot. In order to attack Damascus' current regime, they had to use innocents. Lucy Jane says, peace is not possible with Israel as long as their current president is in office. Just Jamie says, I'm always sus of Israel's intentions. And again, I'll just repeat it. I said it at the very beginning of the stream, but I just want to reiterate in case anyone is joining a little bit later. I don't equate Israel, the government of Israel, and what Israel is doing and what they have been doing. I'm not speaking about Jewish people. So there is a clear distinction there for me. There are Christians and there are Druze, D-R-U-Z-E, in Israel, and it's never the people. It's never the civilians, the regular people. So when I'm speaking about Israel, I'm never talking about Jews. And I'm not thinking about Jewish people. I'm thinking about Netanyahu. I'm thinking about the government and the state of Israel. Just so that's absolutely clear. I think that you can be against a government's actions without being against the people. Plenty of people don't like the U.S., but when they, when they have an opportunity to meet an American and talk with you, it's like, no, I hate your president. Your president is a piece of shit. You're kind of cool. Like, people can make the distinction, and I'm making that distinction very clear. Jewish people and Christians are, we consider them our brothers and sisters in Islam. It's the Abrahamic religions, people of the book. So we are close to Jews and we are close to Christians. And I realize not every Muslim is going to say that or think that. That is what I think. That's when my husband was in NSA, Pentagon, and Dad was in the mountain. Dad said no worries, that an entire city, tunnels were underground from D.C., tunnels of all D.C. out to VA, Delaware, North Carolina. I believe it. Are those big bang sounds that you always see people posting about on Nextdoor? Did anyone just hear a loud bang? Israel is notorious for staging domestic attacks when blaming the countries they want to attack as taking care of business. Emma Peel says, peace with neighbors who have sworn your destruction. Okay, yeah. I totally agree. Yard sale lip gloss, and thank you for saying that. I hope they are safe. This is beyond Gorwell drama. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Chantal needs to be very aware of her surroundings and do some learning on her own and really think things through. The tone deafness of her health update is astounding. I know she talked in the middle of the night last night when she went live about having that video already made, and she was trying to upload it, and she said it would take 2 to 3 hours to upload. That's how slow their upload speed is. So I think she filmed it a couple of days ago. She came in through Lebanon. That border area is closed right now. Okay. Oh, Abriana says the Druze raised the Israeli flag today. The Duke seem happy, or maybe you mean the Druze, seem happy that Israel came to their defense, knowing the new Syrian president's background. No wonder. Well, he did make al-Sharat did make a promise to the Kurds in the north that they would be included in everything, that they would be included in their constitution, their new constitution. And al-Sharat said that he did consult with people who are, there's experts in creating constitutions, apparently. And he had promised the Kurds that they would be included. And when it was released, they were not included. It said basically the people of the Syrian, Arab, and they weren't mentioned. So he may be a lot of talk and not so much following through. So if he's saying, oh, we're coming to help the Druze, that could be something, maybe they're using that as a reason to get closer to Israel for whatever reason they have. I feel like you can't, anything that anyone says, you got to take it with a grain of salt. We really don't know. Lily Max 80 says, that's good for you to clarify for sure. I love my country, USA, can't stand any of the governments of the world. Right. Sometimes including our own, right? And we're lucky enough to be able to criticize our own government. Not everyone can. Absolutely, Reptile was sad humanized. Thank you for being willing to be nuanced about it. There is no black and white in this situation at all. Not at all. Liz says, I only wish for the safety and well-being for the innocent lives impacted by all of this. Yeah. The children, the elderly, the families, it breaks my heart. Sure, Sky Fury. Chantal did not come through back channels. Yes, Chantal, thank you, Sky Fury. Chantal was not smuggled into the country. She did come through, oh, okay, let me see if we can clear some things up here. She did say that she had her passport stamped, and when she flew into Beirut, she went with her taxi driver to the border, and they waited until 6 a.m. for immigration to open. And she said that that she and the taxi driver ran up to the building. I mean, that's probably the real lie in all of that she ran. That's probably the lie. But that she, it took from there 10 minutes, I think, and they stamped her passport. And yeah, she wasn't smuggled in. But she was pretty clear about that. And she has repeated the story a few times, and it has pretty much stayed consistent. The first time she said her passport was scanned, and then she started saying that it was stamped. But she was not smuggled. There's no reason for her to be smuggled. There's no reason to enter illegally. She has nothing to hide from the Syrian government. Hello, bunnies make me happy. Lucy Jane says it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to be in other chats for the next little while. I know. I didn't expect to go live today. I did have her live stream from last night, but, whatever. I'm really into the pageant. I'm just trying to get the pageant done. But I got a DM from a Nestie. I saw their concern. I listened in on a live stream earlier this morning. I saw where the concern was coming from. It's valid. And, yeah. So I imagine that, different people are going to have different things to say, and different people, of course, have different perspectives, and some will not look into things and just kind of make sweeping judgments and assumptions, and that'll be it. So, yeah, I know. I just stay out of when it's times like these in the community, similar for, when she first reverted, I just try to just go and I watch other videos, not even about Girl World, because sometimes it's too much. It's how can this be? But I also choose to think that people who, people in the nest, people who do choose to, to inform themselves as much as they can or know how to, and then seek other information, and maybe not make a judgment or an opinion right away because you don't have enough information. I feel like our people who do that are quieter. We tend to be quieter. And the people who do make sweeping assumptions and, snap decisions about what's happening, they tend to be loud. So it can be misleading sometimes to think that that's the majority of the community, when it very well may not be. They're just a lot louder. Hello, 76 Bellamia. Hey, C. Jewel, thanks for sharing all of this with us. I was just seeing this in the news and have not had time to read any of it. Yeah. KK says, how long do you think she'll be there? I have no idea. Taking care of business. I don't know the answer to that. They said, I thought Druze were Shia but supported the Jews. I mean, I'm Sunni and I support Jews, so I don't know anything about that part. I honestly don't think she would believe all this is really happening until it's right outside her door, or if she has to run for her life. I totally agree, Rebecca M. She's beyond dense and delusional. She's really doing a lot of mental gymnastics, I think, to keep herself in denial as to what's happening around her. Too bad we can't burn calories from mental gymnastics, huh? And Liz says, while the government governs the people, the government does not accurately reflect the individual person and communities. We are not our government. 1,000%. Yeah. 1,000%. Yep. Totally agree. Magwencia says, people like to accuse Chantal of the worst in every situation. Sometimes it's just not the case, and it discredits all of the girl world criticism and concerns in her mind. We sometimes prove her right that we're all unhinged, We do. We come up with some theories and, start making assumptions, and yeah, she's like, they're nuts. And it's like, yeah, actually we do look pretty nuts right now sometimes. Yeah, I agree. LKJP673, you could talk about how Jolani is an ex-head chopper for a terrorist group. Maybe he did behead people. I don't know. He probably. I haven't seen anything specifically about that, but the people who he was involved with, I think, did do that. Yeah. Beetle Queen says, thank you for covering this with the grace and respect that this conversation deserves. Nuance is not one of Core World's specialties. That's true. That's the truth. You're welcome. Shugal says, I've seen a couple who are also really trying to look things up. Maybe it's not perfect, but at least folks are trying. Yeah. Because research and finding out things and looking for sources, it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. And sometimes you'll just get the person who, does an AI summary. And it's like, okay, that's a good first shot. Can you go a little deeper? And can you go again deeper than that? And can you go deep? But it takes practice. Worshneffer says, sorry, I had you on mute due to a call, but I wonder how it would affect her if the registry where her documents were just processed is wiped out, should be online, but given the state of the country. You mean like their computer systems? I don't know how that would affect her. If you have something specific you're thinking of, let me know. Yeah, the pageant is going to be lit. Thank you, Sir Austin. It is. Oh my God, there's so much. But I'm like, I got to give myself a deadline. I can't just keep, pushing it out until I feel comfortable. Like, I'm going to set a time in a day. And it's Thursday at I don't know what time, in the evening. But yeah, there will be a pageant. It will be happening. There will be voting and all of that. Yes, for sure. I know, Carla, right? Those dear sweet people you showed us last week from that vlogger's visit to Syria. I hope they're okay. Those are sweet people. Yes. Santiago says, I had to unsub and hide that channel that keeps on saying she was smuggled is compromised. Oh my God. I don't even know who that is. Don't tell me. I hear you. Sometimes people use Chantal as a reason to spew whatever bigotry is in their heart. They just use her as a reason, like, oh, let me get this all off my chest. Oh, it's because it's Chantal. It's okay, right? Like, well, you're really revealing more about yourself, actually. Yeah. Shelley Daly says it's not just the Middle East. Things are heating up in Ukraine as well. Countries are arming up. It's scary everywhere. Yep. That's right, Cypher. She crossed legally. There were no planes at the time she went. I mean, there's no reason to cross a border illegally. Like, for what reason? Even if she was, like, alcohol is available there, it's legal, like, why would she need to cross the border illegally? It doesn't make sense. It's just one more conspiracy that people like to run with for whatever reasons. Yeah, yep. Lily Max says, and the governments all want us divided and fighting. True. I tell people to please not give in to those lies. Governments cannot stand when we're united. I totally agree with you. Yes. Yeah, because they know that there would be no match for us if we were all united. So they purposely, I believe, create division between different quote-unquote groups, right? Yeah, I agree with you. You're going to DM me, Sky Fury, anytime. Presley says she's not allowed to broadcast destruction or poverty or collect AdSense from Google. Emma Rising says, why did you believe Foodie Beauty? I don't. I assume everything she says is a lie. Like, everything. But when she says things multiple times and it's consistent, then I tend to believe it's probably true. Especially when she's complaining about something. Like, oh, you guys, you know that I love them because you don't know what I had to go through to get here. And it's this long, arduous story about traveling, basically. And how she had to, like immigration. And she said that probably 3 or 4 times now. I mean, if she said, like, I drove in from Beirut, and the next time she says, I flew into Damascus, then like, okay, she's lying somewhere. Carla, I have no idea, so I'm not going to make any assumptions about where the immigration office is or any of that stuff. And, keep in mind, Syria has always been like far advanced from Egypt. And Egypt has everything on computers, so Syria does too. So anything that's been done recently is computerized. Thank you, Sandy Toes. I choose to be here with you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. Just Jamie says it was not that building. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going in that. I'm kind of doing more of an overview for myself rather than, was this the building they drove by? Is this the building they went to? Like, there are people who will be really good at that and be able to tell you, but I'm not going in that direction specifically. That's true. Last I knew, she had not registered her whereabouts with the Canadian government. Right. Canadians abroad. Yeah, she has not registered yet, as far as we know. Yeah. When it gets too hectic, you watch cooking videos, Debbie. Yeah, you gotta take breaks. Sometimes it just gets to be a lot. It does. Will there be explanations on the pageant viewing and voting beforehand? Well, it's gonna be live Thursday night. It's either at 8 or 9 Eastern, I forget. So it all gets broadcasted to you like a live Miss Universe or Miss America pageant. And we pause, and it's an actual website that you'll go to vote. So, like, voting doesn't happen on the live stream. You're not putting ones in the chat and all that stuff. It's an actual link that you'll click on. And all of the entries, I've already finished the human created. I have to do the AI created. I load them all with the pictures and names. And you scroll through and find the one you want to vote for. And you click on that one and you submit your vote. And that's it. So the voting will be open. If I'm doing a Thursday night, I'm saying maybe probably until like midnight Friday. That's like more than 24 hours. And then do the results on Saturday, probably. Yeah. But yeah, we watched the whole thing together. And then, of course, it's recorded as we're live. So you can always go back. If you haven't decided yet on who to vote for, you can always wait and watch the replay and watch it through again. And yeah, but you get one vote per category. There's 2 categories, human created and AI created. Sabin Nation says, at the end of the day, Chantal is a human. I mean, I guess. Yeah, you're right. You're right. She makes questionable decisions. Yeah, but she is human, right? She is flesh and blood. Yeah, if, something physically happens, she's not in the best position. Yeah. Worshneffer says, what I mean is whether there would be any official record of her being there. Yeah, I don't know. I would think Syria has all that stuff in a database. I would think. Now, where those servers are and all that, I have no idea. I'm not unhinged, you are. We all are sometimes. We have one in the chat today too, just Jamie? What do you mean, a beezer? Or a unhinged person? And remember, I told you guys, if you're really a Nestie, and I don't mean a member, or if you feel like you belong in the nest and this is one of your homes on YouTube, feel free to correct people and just say, hey, I don't think that's right, and tag me if you want. Yeah, let me know. Emma Rising, if you go to the watch page, it'll be your local time. So you don't have to do any calculations. Let me put a link to the watch page in the chat. It'll always show your local time. Yes, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me give you the link, and when you click on it and do a notify me when we go live, and that will have your local time. I don't know, Moz. Tater Tot Hot just says, I'm unhinged, but I don't want anything bad to happen to them. Yeah. Ashley, I'm sure you're fine. Okay. Thank you, Sky Fury. Still going, huh? About the smuggling? And sometimes, people spend a lot of time in different chats that do have a narrative. And, they go to a chat that maybe doesn't support that. And they have a hard time switching their mindset. Oh, thank you, Sky Fury. I didn't even see your alarm bells here. It's one that says that's Salah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Got it. Thanks. Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. You're right. How is this person not... Huh. I thought I blocked you during the last live stream. LKJP673 with the Beezer profile picture when you said Salah supports Al-Qaeda. So Syria is a wonderful country to AYS, not all filled with terrorists? I mean, there are regular people in the country. Do you think that an entire country of hundreds of thousands of people, every single one of them is a terrorist? Do you think that? And they're saying that I'm mispronouncing Druze. Okay. Thank you for the correction. But since you don't know how to act civilly, you can disagree with me all you want, but saying that I have brain worms from Chantal? Yeah. Yeah, we don't do the hostility and you can state your case, you can state whatever you would like here, but we don't tolerate disrespect. So, and I don't group anybody into any kind of group at all. So, I thought I blocked you last time, but you're definitely gone this time. Thank you, Sky. I appreciate that. Nida's Kitchen says, thank you, AYS. Where else can we go to be with others who have a specific interest like this, and why? Not something I could explain to anyone else. Do you mean like Chantal? Or like the Middle East stuff? I don't know. Does anyone have any recommendations for Nida's Kitchen? I don't know. I don't. Someone actually gave me a link to, it's like an independent channel. I think it's like agenda free. Maybe like that chat might be, but you're always gonna get some wackadoos. Yeah, Agenda Free TV. They're doing live updates. And I mean, I don't know, this guy must have a lot of coffee. But this, and I haven't fully checked this channel out yet, but this might be good. Agenda Free TV. A couple people sent me this link. And he seems to be reading like headlines from all different sources. So that might be a good one. And thank you so much for being a Nestie Bestie for 7 months. 7 months. Oh, and that guy on Agenda Free TV, he doesn't, oh wow, this is good. His Nightbot is awesome. Steve's rules: no all caps, swearing, conspiracy theories, jokes, repetition, or spam. English only, and be respectful to other chatters. Failure to follow the rules could result in a timeout. Okay. Yeah, Maybe that would be... And he's live right now. That might be a good one. Let us know. I hope Chantal is looking at the news and saying, oh my goodness, we just drove by there. Is it going to be a wake-up moment for her? Only time will tell. True. True. We don't know. Okay, really says disaster recovery servers are usually in another country. That's good to know. Okay. Oh, just Jamie, was that same person that I timed out? Putting words in my mouth? Okay. I need to have my tablet open with the chat. That would be helpful. What's this? So there was a Syrian TV anchor live, and there was an explosion behind her. Let's look at that. And if you are, like, consider yourself to be like very, very well versed on all of this, and I've gotten a lot of stuff wrong, please feel free to let me know. You can do that respectfully without saying I have brain worms, I think, because, I'm definitely not a geopolitical expert on anything, anything at all. So it's very possible that I have some things wrong. It's Annie with an L says, we all saw Salah in the gym. He is not affiliated in any way. So true. He needs at least another 5,000 push-ups before he's even considered for anything. Agree. Tracy M. again, thank you so much for being an Owlette for 2 months. I hope you know how much I appreciate your channel. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let me show you this video of this news anchor. Gosh. It's going to be scary. Syrian anchor takes cover. Oof.
You won't believe this video.
سيواصل مهاجمة قوات
You're looking at footage from Syrian television, and it shows an anchor taking cover while live on air because Israel dropped a bomb.
Because Israel dropped a bomb. You dropped a bomb. No, that's very tasteless. So I don't want to... This is CNN, so I don't want to play this part again. We'll just... So this is Syrian TV.
You're looking at footage from Syria.
سيواصل مهاجمة قوات
You're looking at footage from Syrian television, and it shows an anchor taking cover while live on air because Israel dropped a bomb just behind her. The target was Syria's Ministry of Defense. Now, Israel has been carrying out airstrikes on the Syrian army, it says, to protect the minority Druze community in the country, but some Syrians say Israel is putting civilians at risk.
Oh my gosh. I can't get this off my screen. Okay. What's happening? Let me try that. My transition button is like stuck or broken or something. All right, give me a moment, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm gonna probably disconnect for a second. I think I have to, but I should be right back. So you're gonna see a spinning wheel, I think. Why is that doing that? Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, I think we're back. I hope we're back. I think so. Okay, good. All right. That was very odd. Okay. I'll just go through the chat a little bit, and then I will let you go for the day. Anyone else says BBC Online is also a good source for international news. They often have introductory what you need to know primers on world issues. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Fairy Nymph, I'd be curious if she can actually go live in a few hours. Yeah. We'll see. Hey, Tony D. Listening while working. Lurking, working, and maybe modestly torgin? Oh, thank you, Yard Sale Lip Gloss. Agenda Free has a lot of followers of the current president of the United States. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you. I like Al Jazeera. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Save a Nation. Let me see. I think it's kind of long. It's like 17 minutes. Her shocking health update. I don't know. I really didn't hear anything of value. I guess we can. It just feels like it's just an upload, just to have an upload. That's what it kind of seemed like to me. Yeah. No, that's okay. We can watch. Because I've only watched like half of it. Maybe she does say something significant. Maybe. Yeah, we can. I shouldn't be so judgmental. Okay. All right. She doesn't look very good, does she? That's okay. We're here together. We'll do it.
A bit about my health and give you a few updates. So yeah, I'm gonna start with my weight. Now, I don't have a scale here yet, but my husband Salah did say that he was gonna pick one up at some point for me, so that will be coming. I'd like to keep track. But even without a scale, I've noticed that just I guess the stress on my body recently with traveling and just adjusting to a new lifestyle that's not the same at all, really, from what I'm used to. I'm used to a more sedentary lifestyle, and I'm used to eating a lot more. So just based on those factors alone, and and perspiring quite a bit every day. I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but it probably makes somewhat, at least for some water weight. So I will show you just, I guess, how this shirt, I always use this shirt that I got in Thailand, kind of as like an indication of if I've lost a bit of weight or not. And just by the way this is fitting, to the point where I can actually wear it out, because the buttons are not bursting at the seams, then I know that I've probably lost a couple of inches or so, a little bit of weight. So just being less bloated, this shirt is fitting a lot better. And for that reason, I would say that I did lose a little bit. I still have a long way to go, and I just want to also...
It's all water weight. Clearly.
Emphasize very greatly that I did not come to Syria just to lose weight. But if I do happen to adapt a healthier lifestyle and do lose weight, that is amazing. And if I'm able to eat more modestly and just move more and enjoy this country, I'll be able to maneuver it better as well. So that will be good. That'll be a lot of better content for you guys too. So it's a win-win all around, right? So so for that reason, I would say that I probably have lost a little bit, maybe a very little bit. But yeah, I have not been, there's some parts of my health issues that I can't really talk about because, sorry, the fan. I feel like it might be censored by YouTube. And, in regards to, so if you...
The B word. Yeah, she said her B word disorder was under control because she was busy and it was too hot.
You know what I'm talking about? It's food-related issue.
Right.
I haven't been succumbing to that part of things. So I haven't been, overeating pretty much at all. I've just been eating very modestly. The majority of my diet is... how do I say, like real food, like more natural, though I do still eat some junk. Like sometimes I'll have a package of Indomie, but the difference is when I have Indomie now, I just have the Indomie noodles, one pack with like a broth, instead of having 3 packs that I would have, in Canada or Kuwait, with cream and butter and cheese on it. So just little things like that, I guess, really end up making a bigger difference. So I drink mostly water. I do allow myself like a really cold treat drink a day, like a slush. They're very popular here, or like a cola or something like that. So that's what I do. I just, take it day by day and just kind of try to really just listen to my body. Like, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to stuff my face, obviously. And that's like, sometimes I will admit that it is hard. Sometimes there have been like maybe once or twice only since I've been here that I've had time where we're not really doing much, and I'm just like watching a movie or something, and I really kind of get that habitual urge, or that urge sometimes when, I want to eat more, but I just like, no, I can't. I just psychologically kind of just try to deal with it. It is hard still, but it's less hard here because a lot of my comfort foods and stuff like that, they're not available, and they're not easily available, and there's just not really drive-throughs and things like that you can just go to. And they still have some junk, but it's just not the same as when I was living in Canada or Kuwait. Kuwait has a lot of Western fast food places and stuff like that, and so I'm not in my...
Why don't you find a deserted island, maybe? A deserted island that only has vegetables and lean proteins. Maybe do that, because that seems to be the problem, right? Just the availability of things that you as an adult can't accept responsibility for putting in your mouth or not. So you need like total abstinence, and you just can't have anything around you, period, right? Okay. Hey, do what you got to do.
Comfort zone, I'm out of my element, and I'm forced to just do more activity. Life is just generally different here, and it's it's harder in a lot of ways. And so if you really want to I guess entertain yourself, with limited electricity and limited internet and stuff like that, the best thing to do is go out and enjoy life. Go to a park with people and go visit people and just go for walks and stuff like that.
Yeah, leave the house, get a hobby. Yeah, things that people have been telling you for almost a decade. Yeah, sitting at home doing absolutely nothing but searching your YouTube name on the internet. Yeah, you will have a lot of time to think about food and all of that. But yeah, stay busy, get a job, a hobby, something. Take your kids to the park. Yep, exactly. I will add, too, that, like, if she does have some sort of disorder, okay, or, because I feel like a disorder and addiction are different things. Myself personally, I don't know if there is a clinical, like, a real hard difference, but I feel like there is. And when in times of stress, such as, you got bombs being dropped, 50 miles away from you. Sometimes for people who do have an ED, that can be a time to really focus in on the ED, because that is something that you have control over. But everything going on around you, outside of you, you have no control over. So for some people, that's a coping mechanism to really focus on the ED. Now, if it's an addiction, then, she just may be using her addiction to cope with life. So I don't feel like any of this is going to be resolved. She's not going to be losing all this water weight until peace reigns over the country of Syria. I think it'll probably get worse. But she thinks she's going to keep dropping LBs. Okay, I hope she does.
So we've been doing a lot of that, and that's been, I guess, beneficial to my health in a lot of ways. So that's the part of the weight update. Now my diabetes. So I took my blood reading today, and actually that inspired this whole wanting to do this update for you guys, because it's so much easier to do these updates when it's going to be a positive one than whenever it's like a negative. But my blood sugar reading, I was so surprised. Like my glucometer has different lights for showing you.
Oh, let me move my owl friend here. It says blood sugar fasting used to be on average between 11 mmol and 14 mmol. That's cut off of the screen. And this is 8.8. I think she throws a chart up here.
If it's a good or a bad reading. Now, this is for a diabetic, okay? A normal, healthy, younger person, of course their blood sugar will be like 5 mmol when, when fasting, or after eating it might go up to 6 or something like that. Not much. So, even more, I'm not sure. I don't remember the parameters, what they are for after eating, but it's easy to look up. So my blood sugar today was a green light.
Well, we do have it at 1.5. I was like, wow, you really threw that up there pretty fast, huh? Like flashed us with it.
After eating it might go up to 6 or something like that. Not much. So if it's a good or a bad reading. Now, this is for a diabetic, okay? A normal, healthy, younger person, of course, their blood sugar will be like 5 mmol when when fasting, or after eating, it might go up to 6 or something like that. Not much. So, even more, I'm not sure. I don't remember the parameters, what they are for after eating.
Okay. 8.8. Which, did she say this was a fasting reading? 8. mmol. Okay. So that would be in elevated. No, it's in high, greater than 7. So if she's fasting, mmol is this column here, then it would be anything greater than 7.0 is high. And she's saying this is good? Yeah, and she's 8.8. Okay.
But it's easy to look up. So
Right,
my blood sugar today was a green light. So,
What? It was a green light? How so? How so? Did she say she was fasting? I'm just like, I don't know.
and actually that inspired this whole wanting to do this update for you guys, because it's so much easier to do these updates when it's going to be a positive one than whenever
How
it's
is
like
this
a negative.
positive?
But my blood sugar reading, I was so surprised. Like my glucometer has different lights for showing
Yeah, it says fasting. It does say fasting.
you if it's a good or a bad reading. Now, this is for a diabetic, okay? A normal, healthy, younger person, of course, their blood sugar will be
Younger
like 5
person?
mmol.
Honey, I'm older than you. I'm older than you.
When fasting, or after eating, it might go up to 6 or something like that. Not much. So, even more, I'm not sure. I don't remember the parameters, what they are for after eating,
Right.
but it's easy to look.
Right. So she's at 8.8 fasting, okay? And she's saying she got the green light. She got the green light. So the second column is fasting, right? And the second column within that second column starts at normal is 4.4 to 5.5, elevated 5.6 to 6.9, and high is greater than 7. And she showed us a picture and it was 8.8. How is this a green light? Rogie, I am older. Yeah. Yep.
So my blood sugar today was a green light. So I was so happy. Admittedly, I've been neglectful with the diabetes thing in a lot of ways, as in when I ran out of insulin, I didn't go back to see the doctor in Kuwait. I just had a lot going on and I just never did it. And I just stuck to the metformin I was taking twice a day. Now, I sometimes take it twice a day. I usually only take it actually once a day, which is 1,000 milligrams. And that seems to be working. Like, it's not... I think the lifestyle changes affect it as well, of course. If you go from eating, my diet was so bad at times in Kuwait, most of the time, and in Canada. But, most recently in Kuwait, I would, order, we would have dinner, sometimes breakfast, dinner, and then another dinner. I guess breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know. It was all, I didn't have like a structured eating pattern, as you guys know. But you saw from my mukbang videos, my eating videos, like I would eat a lot of junk and processed food, and I would eat a lot of it. I really am convinced the quantity of it that you eat makes such a difference for weight. So I would eat tons of fast food, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. And then I would have snacks, like just chips, cheese, Indomie. Like, the amount that I would eat, actually, like, it's just, when you really, like, think about it, yeah, it does make you sick just thinking about it. And, I had a lot of issues. So, a lot of issues with food, and just a lot of dark times with food. And so, of course, the metformin wasn't enough, right? It just wasn't enough holding the blood. I mean, I just had too much blood sugar for it to, I had to be on insulin. Like,
I don't think her issues are physical. I think they're primarily mental. I think they're mostly mental, because she told us that she stopped taking Lantus insulin at bedtime. She told us she stopped the insulin, and she also told us that she was only taking metformin, and that the metformin was keeping her blood sugar at a healthy level. That is what she told us like a couple of weeks ago. And now she's sitting here saying, I do need insulin because... Oh my God. Tina T says that's not her hand holding the glucose reader. Oh, really? Well. Let's have a brief investigation here. You don't think so? You don't think that's her thumbnail? It does look trimmed. The cuticle is a little ragged. What do you guys think? You think it is her hand? Okay. And what is this? A purse or something? And what is this flooring? Kiwi Farms will figure out that flooring in the back or table. I think it's a table. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And it says July 14th, 2025. It says 8:43 a.m., but she's been known not to, like, you know, keep that stuff updated. Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Tina T. Hey, it's always worth questioning, you know?
Twice a day. Now, I sometimes take it twice a day. I usually only take it actually once a day, which is 1,000 milligrams. And that seems to be working. Like, it's not... I think the lifestyle changes affect it as well, of course. If you go from eating, you know, my diet was so bad at times in Kuwait, most of the time, and in Canada. But, you know, most recently in Kuwait, I would, you know, order, we would have dinner, sometimes breakfast, dinner, and then another dinner. I guess breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know. It was all, I didn't have like a structured eating pattern, as you guys know. But you saw from my mukbang videos, my eating videos, like I would eat a lot of junk and processed food, and I would eat a lot of it. You know, I really am convinced the quantity of it that you eat is just makes such a difference for weight. So I would eat tons of fast food, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day, and then I would have snacks like just chips, cheese, indomie. Like the amount that I would eat, actually, like it's just when you really like think about it, it does make you sick just thinking about it.
We're aware.
And you know, I had a lot of issues. So a lot of issues with food, and just a lot of dark times with food. And so dark of course times. The metformin wasn't enough, right? It just wasn't enough holding the blood. I mean, I just had too much blood sugar for it to, you know, I had to be on insulin. Like I had to. And I find
Gertie said the vibe cured her beatus, and the vibe in Syria cured her beatus. I think you might be right. I think so. Look how much better she's doing. Just look. The vibe is everything, right?
now, you know, that I'm eating maybe like even less than 1/3 of what I was eating and moving more, I find that makes a difference, because, you know, moving really does affect your blood sugar in a positive way. So that's my blood sugar reading today. That was my fasting blood sugar, which is still, I know, kind of high, but for
kind of high
and my like diabetes standards, that's really low. That's, you know, 3.3 points away from me.
But guess what though? Okay, this whole, it makes me think of Caleb Hammer. Remember the finance guy, financial audit, right? We watched him like once, and then he copyright got me a couple, so we can't watch him anymore, sadly, because he's so entertaining. But Caleb Hammer says, you know what? Because people that are talking about their budget and why they're in so much debt, they're like, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. And he's like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it used to be. I think it's the same thing with your blood sugar. It doesn't matter compared to what. Is it a healthy level or not? It used to be 17, now it's 8.8. Okay. You're heading in the right direction, but that doesn't mean it's a healthy level.
Optimal, super normal. And that's without insulin. So, you know, and I hadn't taken my medication yet today. So whenever I do have my main meal, I will have my metformin. And yeah, that's the update for my diabetes. I am no longer taking the insulin.
Darn it. Oh. Oh my God. Why? 0 days since the last muting incident. Jeez, I'm telling you. If I mute myself during the pageant, that's the end of it. I'm stopping my channel. I'm ending the channel. I'm just going to delete the whole channel. What was I even saying? Oh, she... Did she just say she needs insulin now? Or that she doesn't need insulin now? Like, what? What? didn't like right around here she said that she needs insulin, and now here she's saying she doesn't need it again? Is that what she said? Like, what? The delusion.
When I ran out of insulin, I didn't go back to see the doctor in Kuwait. I just had
All right, I'm really going to pay attention this time. Okay.
a lot going on, and I just never did it. And I just stuck to the metformin I was taking twice a day. Now, I sometimes take it twice a day. I usually only take it actually once a day, which is 1,000 milligrams. And that seems to be working. Like, it's not... I think the lifestyle changes affect it as well, of course. If you go from eating, my diet was so bad at times in Kuwait, most of the time, and in Canada. But,
we know.
Most recently in Kuwait, I would, order...
tons of
eat
food.
A lot of junk.
Yeah.
And processed
Bread,
food. And
donuts.
I would eat tons of fast food, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And then I would have snacks, like just chips, cheese, Indomie, like...
Right.
The amount that I would eat, actually, like, it's just when you really, like, think about it, it does make you sick just thinking about it. And, I had a lot of issues. So, a lot of issues with food, and just a lot of dark times with food.
Right.
So, of course, the metformin wasn't enough, right? It just wasn't enough holding the blood. I mean, I just had too much blood sugar for it to, I had to be on insulin. Like, I had to.
Right.
And I find that now, that I'm eating maybe... like even less than 1/3 of what I was eating and moving more, I find that makes a difference because, moving really does affect your blood sugar and in a positive way. So that's my blood sugar reading today. That was my fasting blood sugar, which is still, I know, kind of high. But for me and my like diabetes standards, that's really low. That's, 3.3 points away from being optimal, super normal. And that's without insulin. So,
super normal.
And I hadn't taken my medication yet today. So whenever I do have my main meal, I will have my metformin.
God.
And that's the update for my diabetes. I am no longer taking the insulin.
Okay, we already knew that, though. We already knew that.
In the future, I'll keep track of my blood. And if, I see there's an issue with the blood sugars again and they're going up again.
Sure.
I will seek out medical care for that and, possibly have to go back on something. But,
right.
I think that's about it for the diabetes
so,
update. One other thing I want to talk about is mental health. Mental health, from what I read on the internet, when I kind of Googled are antidepressants.
Did you Google or did you check the AI summary? Like, what is the source? Gertie said, dark times? It's about to get darker, sis. You're so right. It's
available in Syria. And the general answer that came up was they're very hard to come by because mental illness is seen as taboo.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. This is her being her. So she said that she wasn't going to be able to find her antidepressant, which she also refers to as her brain pills. She has always referred to her it's escitalopram. It's Lexapro in the U.S. and in Canada, it's Cipralex. She has always referred to those as her brain pills. When she talks about her brain pills, she's referring to her antidepressant. She has never referred to anything else as her brain pills, as far as I know. So any kind of substance that anyone thinks that she could be consuming now, I don't think she'd refer to that as her brain pills. I think she refers to her antidepressant as the brain pill, right? That's what I'm thinking. Okay. So she Googled, can I get my brain pills in Syria? And the Google told her no. Because, Middle East and mental health? No go. And I told her, she probably didn't hear me, probably didn't watch that day. But I told her, listen, you need to go into the pharmacies. Don't send Salah. Salah's going to go in and literally ask for brain pills, and they're not going to know what he's talking about. You need to go in yourself. And you may need to go to a larger pharmacy in a larger city or another area to find them. They may not be on the corner where the guy sells packs of gum and some vitamins. You may have to go to a larger pharmacy to get them. But I didn't think that they would be completely unavailable. I think she just wasn't looking for them. And apparently she never did get off her ass and actually go into these places. She Googled it. And I'll tell you, anyone who has tried to Google anything in the Middle East, you will find so many dead ends. And you think, oh my God, I think this is the right website. It even has the right website extension for the country. And then you'll go in the server, you'll get a 404 error. You can't Google stuff, Chantal. You got to get off your butt and actually walk in there.
And that actually is true and not true. We actually did find a pharmacy that has my brain pills.
Yeah. What do you know? What do you know?
So the exact brand and everything. So I was just so happy that we found a pharmacy that has them, and they were a fraction of the price of what they were. And first of all, they were most expensive in Canada. For name brand antidepressant, it was like I think $95. In Kuwait, for the same name brand antidepressant, it was I think it was like 7 KD or 8 KD. I don't remember what that is. Times that by 4. It was about $30 or so. And then here it's 2 KD. So that's like $8, something like that. It's really affordable. So that's a plus as well.
I'm sure they.
Some things are more pricier.
I'm sure they are real. Drug manufacturers, like the largest one is probably in India, but I remember there was a Pfizer in Egypt. Like, drugs are widely available across the world. They're not gonna take the time to create a box that looks exactly like the original Cipralex box, but put sugar tablets in it. I don't think. Tejoncita says, I'm absolutely tired of her being an awful diabetic. You know what? She is the reason people think we're all lazy and fat and deserve this illness. I'm tired of her being this bad with it. Tejoncita, we know that is not the case. We know that, I mean, sure, maybe a few people are, but we know that you're not, for sure. And we know that most people do care about their health and do want to do something about it. And sometimes people need help with that, and that's okay. But Tejoncita, I know that you take very good care of yourself, and we do not lump you in any way with this person at all. So don't worry about that. I understand it can be upsetting. I get that. No, you're good, Tejoncita. You're going to outlive all of us, I think.
Here, but a lot of the things are very affordable in ways that are surprising, you know? So that's that. You know, I tried coming off of them again. And, you know, a lot of people, I know I shouldn't just never do that. Never just come off of antidepressants without medical supervision and without tapering off, you know. But I thought I was in a place where I wouldn't have access, and it might not be possible to always, you know, to travel to a place nearby where they have some. Who knows what the circumstances. What if it happens sometime where you don't have access to them? So I was trying to prepare for that, and I thought, you know what? I'm happy. You know, I'm happy right now. Maybe I can do it. But that has nothing to do with being happy or not. It's you know, it's actual function in your brain that it regulates. So that was rough.
It's your brain function. It doesn't matter if things are going great in your life or not. Depression will hit you whether things are great or not. It's literally selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It has to do with the brain. Yeah.
It made it a week, and then by the 8th day I was feeling manic. So I just went back on them. And I'm feeling a lot better. And I guess that's about it. I know some people are skeptical, like it doesn't work that fast. Actually, I don't know if it's placebo effect, but it does for me. Now, when you first initially start an antidepressant, it can take weeks to fully...
Don't start giving medical misinformation. You can spew your own nonsense, but don't start telling people what's going to happen when they start taking antidepressant, Chantal. Really. You don't even know enough to taper off or to learn to go to a pharmacist and ask if you can switch to something else that would be... What is this? That's Dumpster Snacks. What is that? What is that?
You know, work in your brain and fix things. But once you're on them for that long, I think it probably doesn't take as long. That could be
prices?
Why. So, anyway, those are my health updates. I don't know. I feel feeling okay, you know. I just thought I would let you know how I'm doing and with regards to that in more detail. So I really appreciate you guys for listening. And in the future, when I have more health updates, I'll let you know.
Okay.
And
sounds good.
Long road ahead, especially with weight.
Yep.
Long road ahead, but
yep.
you know, inshallah.
Yep.
Bit by bit, we'll get there. So,
sounds
anyways,
good.
guys, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right, bye. See what I mean? A bunch of nothing. Kong Stomper says, I gave my insulin away for you. Oh no, I gave it away for you. And look what I got in return. this I Love Syria t-shirt. Oh my God. Thank you, Kong Stomper. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks. Oh my goodness. My goodness. My goodness.
I gave my cats away for you.
I gave my cats away for you. Oh yeah, Dee Dee's single. Dee Dee is single, you guys. I meant to start the stream with that, but we had serious things to discuss. Yeah, Dee Dee's single. So if anyone wants to, shoot your shot, this would be a good time, I think. I think this is the time. Yes. So let's pull up her community tab. Yeah, I will make time for that. That's important news. We need to know that. Oh, my dog wants to go out. Honey, can you wait like a minute? I have important stuff I'm talking to the nest about. It's this woman. I don't even want to get into it with you. You don't need to know the details, but yeah, it's a story, okay? All right. Oh, he's so cute. He's just looking at me. Let me see if I can just maybe open the door for him. I hesitate to do that. He seems to know when I'm not watching, and he gets mischievous. Just a sec. Let me just open the door for him real quick. I will be back directly. Yeah, we do need to talk about this briefly. Yes, we do. We definitely do. Okay, be right back. We are back. Thank you for your patience. It's nice and sunny and hot outside. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So this is your time, okay? This is the most important news of the day, actually, in my opinion. Yeah. If you have always wanted to shoot your shot at Dee Dee Lulu, this is your opportunity. She may be available. Dumpster Snack says, I gave my husband away for you. You can have him. You can have him. Thank you, Dumpster Snacks. You can have him, Chantal. You win. You win. So all of this talk about Syria may be a moot topic anyway, because if this is true, Chantal's getting on the first flight out of Damascus to Montreal. Yeah. So, here's her community tab post. Now, she did revert to Islam, okay? I thought that they got married. But maybe not. I thought they got married. Okay. Didi Lulu. 16 hours ago. Hi, guys. This is going to come as a shock for some, and for others, not so much. I am no longer in a relationship with Nader. We have decided to part ways. I am not going to get into details, mostly because I know most of you are not sincerely concerned for our well-being, but mostly are just nosy. It is what it is. We have somewhat grown apart and have different visions for our futures. I don't plan on deleting my channel, but also need some time to refocus, organize, and plan what comes next. Oh, wow. Remember the email that they said Chantal sent, and it had a space between the last letter in a sentence and the punctuation? Please be human if commenting. So if you are visiting from another planet, she doesn't want to hear from you. She doesn't want any alien comments, only if you're human. What I mean by that, is be kind and respect my privacy. Por favor. Oh, multilingual, Dee. Yes. Thanks. You're welcome. For those of you who can't help yourselves and be rude, mean-spirited, or downright nasty, this is all in caps, I am sure to have a condescending, sarcastic reply for y'all. Is she the type of person that says she doesn't want any drama? Is this that kind of person? I hate drama, guys. I hate drama. And if you are curious, of course, I am Muslim and proud of it. Alhamdulillah. Okay. I never chose to see the truth because of Nader. It was my decision. Okay, good. SubhanAllah. I look forward now to taking more time to focus on Islam. Wonderful. And have so much more to learn. MashaAllah. Hey, you know what? She might be able to teach Chantal a thing or two about Islam. Excited for that. My journey. Absolutely ready and loving it. MashaAllah. Take good care, guys. And remember to take the time to smell the flowers and stay your keyboard warrioring. LOL to a minimum. Not healthy. Love y'all do. Love y'all do. Debs. Okay. All right. So that's very exciting news from Didi Lulu. Didi Lulu is back on the market. Oh, yeah. You know, so Chantal's probably on a flight as we speak. Because that was 16 hours ago. Chantal may have already touched down in Montreal right now, but, really on her way over. Now, where's he living? We don't know. Where's he gonna stay? You know what? They might even be the kind of couple that he'll still live with her, but they'll be broken up and doing their own thing. And they'll just say that they're roommates. They'll tell everyone that they're roommates, but they'll both be dating other people. It'll be super awkward. Because he's like, because he's going to manipulate her anyway, right? And she's going to be like, yeah, I can't put him out on the street. I can't do that to him. No, he can stay. And he'll be bringing all kinds of girls into the apartment and the condo. Yeah. This is going to be something else. Woo! She'll never get rid of him. Right. Yep. Just friends. We're just friends. We're roommates. We've known each other for years. Oh, okay. Otters and elephants. Good question. Is Foodie Beauty coming back for Didi or not? Yeah. John Smith says, personally, I don't think Chantal left. I think her window closed and the airstrike came in. Maybe. It's possible. Yeah, we don't know exactly where she is. And that's the main issue with all the speculation. because there's a lot going on in different parts of the country, but we don't know exactly where she is. Yeah. It seemed a strange day. Yep. Read his status update? Really, Confusia? Oh, thank you. Let's go check that out. Is it on Natty Daddy? Or... Okay. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Also 16 hours ago. Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, guys. Oh, wow. Yeah. Your autocorrect changed your comment to this. Nonchalant is probably going to go get ZBD's husband. Hi guys, taking a break from YT to enjoy the summer and be more present in everyday life. Oh, okay. I'm too giddy. Hey, we need some good news, right, Saban Nation? We do. Lots of planning for future goals and projects. Like what? Not sure when I will be back? Okay. But rest assured, I will give you updates as my journey continues. Okay. Enjoy the summer. Make memories. Watermelon, sunflower, sunglass face, sun. Be back soon. Oh, back soon, inshallah. Nader. Okay. There's 8 comments. I don't know why I didn't think to read Dee Dee's comments. Stephanie Miller says, no one gives a flying ish. You get no views. Nader, Syria arc. Yeah. Maybe you could take this time to go visit your family in Egypt. Oh, wait, forgot your passport isn't worth ish. I mean, he sought asylum, so I don't think he would go back. Or can. How was Dee Dee able to type this post for you if y'all broke up? Exactly, Teardrop. April Fool's Dee Dee. LOL. Enjoy your breakup with Dee Dee. For real? They broke up? How do you know? What? Can he please take Foodie back before she gets herself killed in Syria? Oh yeah, he doesn't mention that the relationship ended. He's just like, I'm going to go enjoy my summer. I'm taking a break from YouTube. Okay. She's the one that was like, look, it's over. It is over. Okay. This is going to come as a shock for some. Okay. I don't think anyone's shocked. All right. She has 18 comments. All right. A butterfly. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Myra Hindley. I don't know what that is. Where are the crackheads going to go next? 21 likes, 14 comments for you. 9 likes, 3 comments for your wife, Nader Al-Shami. Give it up, Dee Dee Lulu. Your 5 minutes in the spotlight was over a long time ago. And we won't even bring up the fact that you let a criminal care for your mother in her final days. Lastly, maybe now you can go to a real hairstylist. Okay, the hairstylist part is good. Yeah. If you really broke up with Nader, you wouldn't have posted on his community tab for him. We all know he doesn't write like that. To make it more believable, wink wink, try using poor grammar and misspelled words. I also don't expect any good thumbnails anymore, because we all know that you're also doing that for him. I would also expect to see his next stream from somewhere other than your condo. Right. If you want someone other than Chantal to believe the lies, you have to make it look more realistic, because most of us aren't that naive. Yep. Dee Dee, respect my privacy. Also, Dee Dee, me and Dishwasher broke up. Feel sorry for me. Are you aware of a letter written by Albert Pike to Giuseppe Mazzini, written in 1871, that details a plan that's coming to fruition right now? What? Picking a side will not end well. Therefore, I refuse to play the game. Onwards and upwards, Dee Dee. What? What does that mean? The cat is Jin, says Dee Dee, and Salah's DMs had to post to convince him. Right. Imagine if they did a switcheroo. Dee Dee with Salah and Chantal with Nader. I mean, that might work. Thank you, the cat is Jin. Someone else said, good for you. I hope you find... Oh, garlic bread. I hope you find peace and comfort. What? Okay. Okay. What? That was the most random. I did not expect that to pop up. Oh my God. What? Okay. Imagine if you're just scrolling through comments and you see, are you serious? Good luck in the future, Dee Dee. Like, what? What is this? Dumpster Snacks, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to like Garlic Bread's comment. Oh my God. Okay. Someone else says, stop the cap, Dee Dee. You have lied about everything. You both lied about how you met. If I had to guess, I would say Nader not streaming for the last week probably means he was or is in jail. That's possible. Because why else would she write that for him? Oh, interesting. Probably means he was or is in jail for something he did to you. Wow. So Nader's going to get out of jail whenever that is, right? And then, like, log in and see this. Like, oh, Dee Dee broke up with me. I guess that's why she didn't answer my collect phone calls from jail. Oh, my God. Definitely Save a Nation. If she broke up with him in order to continue her Muslima journey, practices, and education, I support that. I support it either way, no matter why she's doing it. That's awesome. You will never tell the truth, so it really doesn't matter. There was no need to make a post because we all stopped caring years ago, but you do you. Whew. Okay. She obviously wrote that fake email from Chantal as well that he was showing saying she and Salah were finished. Look where Foodie is now, back with Salah. Zero credibility, zip. LMFAO, doo-doo, you wasted years and likely thousands of dollars on a bum. I mean, the facts are the facts, yeah. Honestly, Dee Dee, I don't like either of you, but I'm happy you're away from that man and got out safe, sending you well wishes. I like that. That's good. It's same. Absolutely the same. I hope you find peace. 600 LBs wishing you the best. I sincerely hope you take time for yourself. This, translated to English, says we don't care. And this I took a screenshot of because I need to block this person. Let me just take her info right now, because she says some pretty crazy things about Islam. So, you know, I like it when people do that, not on my channel, so I can preemptively block them. Yeah. She's talking about why do Muslims walk around the Kaaba half naked 7 times and da-da-da-da-da. That's plagiarized from Hindu practices. Islam is a pagan religion. I mean, you know, you got one of these nutters. Okay. All right then. They are blocked, effective immediately. Okay, and we have Hurley K gifting 5 Are You Serious memberships. Thank you, Hurley K. Woohoo! Woohoo! We got new members. We got Otters and Elephants, Mandrews XL, Crystal, Tundra Queen, and Diane Woods. If you are in the chat right now and I just read your name, please give Hurley K a big shout out. A 30-day free membership just for you. And if you're brand new, please check out your welcome video. It's just a couple seconds long if you want to watch it and come right back. Your official welcome to the nest. Woo! That was quite a stream, huh? Wow. Yikes. Dirty Dog says he's in jail and she's going to rehab. That would be the best thing, probably, right? Freedom Deep, that would be the perfect time if he went to jail. She could change the locks. Right. You think Cornbread wants Nader? I thought cornbread's gone, like long gone. Wow. If they don't give a hoot, why are they commenting or reading her community posts? That is, Lulu Carter Tatum, that is a good question. People who don't care, who say, people who don't care don't usually, they just keep scrolling. Yeah, they're not going to stop and write out a paragraph. True. Oh, not cornbread, garlic bread. Yeah. I don't know. I thought he already had a lady, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. That was crazy. What a crazy stream. Whew. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Oh my God, the pageant is tomorrow night. I still have a ton to do. Okay. So I won't see you until tomorrow night. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. If you just go to the watch page, it'll convert that to your local time. Yeah, I have a lot to do still. And I hope to see you there. And it's going to be magnificent. We have 68 total entries, okay? 68 contestants. And yeah, I can't wait. And everyone gets to vote. Everybody. Okay. Thank you I know, Jobin, it was. Thank you. Thank you. It was a lot today. I know, especially for an unplanned stream. Yeah. But, hey, I'm glad we got together and just chatted a little bit. I think it was important. Yep. Okay, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Okay. See you soon. Bye-bye.